Had some amazing.
This, and then this guy goes to get the gun, and the guys are like, you can't bring the gun in, and like, it goes on and on. You know all this.
I've heard a lot of cool stories.
A few more questions here. Advice on flexibility. Do you work on your flexibility for people? Is that something that's very important?
Well, there's the 5-point definition of exercise. Proper exercise should increase strength, increase muscular endurance, increase cardiorespiratory function, increase mobility and flexibility, and decrease your chance of being injured. So anyone that's injuring themselves in their training doesn't know what they're doing. Proper exercise should decrease your chance of being hurt. By that 5-point definition of exercise, there's only one activity that really meets all 5 points. That's strength training, whether it be body weight, weights, or whatever, like that. Of the 5 points, flexibility is probably the least important component for athletic performance. And many elite athletes are actually kind of tight. Now in our sport, jiu-jitsu, it pays to be mobile and flexible, but mobility and flexibility are a little bit different. Mobility is your ability to move your limbs through the full range of motion voluntarily with strength. It has a strength connotation to it. Yeah. Flexibility is just like a passive ability to stretch. The difference between your mobility and flexibility is your percent chance of being injured.
Okay.
So if you're real flexible, and I've seen some real flexi-bendy guys, but they weren't particularly mobile, I had a girl the other day that I was demonstrating the difference between flexibility and mobility. I had her stand, put her hand on my shoulder. I took her foot and put it on my head. She was a dancer. And then I lifted it up to arm's length, almost like a needle pose, right? That's pretty flexible.
Yeah.
She wasn't even warmed up or anything. I could lift her foot up over my head with my hand while she's standing on one foot. Then I said, lift your leg up on your own. She could only get it to my waist. She had this huge difference between mobility and flexibility. Her chance of being hurt, playing any kind of sports or performance activity, was quite high.
Okay.
You don't want a big difference. You're almost better off being a little bit tight and having good mobility than being real flexible with poor mobility.
Okay, interesting.
And so, a lot of the top level guys I've trained actually had unbelievable mobility and weren't all that particularly flexible. You don't need to be all that flexible. Moderate flexibility, obviously able to touch your toes and stuff like that.
Right, but don't have to be
You don't need to be
super...
flexi-bendy. Those guys are the ones that get hurt the most.
Okay.
They're always injured, those guys. That's been my experience.
Okay, so really think about your mobility.
Yeah, how flexible does a person need? There's no reason to do a split unless you're a gymnast or a dancer, No reason whatsoever to be able to do, a back bending posture unless you're some type of contortionist or gymnast or something.
Right, okay.
There's no reason for normal people to have that kind of range of motion.
Okay.
It doesn't enhance your athleticism at all.
To watch the rest of this fascinating interview, click on the link below and go to londonrealacademy.com. There you can sign in with your social media login and watch the rest of the episode for free, along with all of our episodes on London Real, my webinars, and all of our premium content, all located over at londonrealacademy.com. So click on the link below, you'll be directed there, and you can watch the rest of this fascinating interview, and I'll see you there.